Good morning, everyone. Hope your week is starting off well. Just wanted to go into a couple of trades that I have put on recently. Basically looking for the dollar weakness that I mentioned last week on my Instagram. I'm kind of starting to see some of it formulate, so I am trying to take advantage of that. Let's look at the euro dollar real quick. So, this is one that I'm watching. I entered this morning. I don't have a terribly large stop loss, because the potential for this thing to drop is present. So, I'm keeping this on a short leash. You can see the big consolidation that we had for 2.5 years, the lows in 2015 before finally kind of breaking out of that consolidation in 2017. Kind of the last little area that I identified that kind of maintained this range was this last little ditch effort for the bears coming out of 1.1450 level. But if you look at the weekly chart, that is a lone red candle right before we busted out of that range. So I kind of identified that as the impulsive move that initiated the breakout, and you can see it a little bit better on the daily chart back here. Really, once we made that weekly low, couple of little daily candles in there, but really kind of initiated that breakout into some more consolidation before another impulsive move up. So I used that point there as kind of an anchor point, and then this last low before our last impulsive move up as kind of an establishment point for a trend line. And you can see we retested that trend line this morning pretty nicely, right around that 1.19 level. With this consolidation, you can see the last push by the bears before the bulls took over and busted out of the consolidation. That kind of happened right here. So fibbing that from low to high, we get a 78.6 fib retracement, as well as a profit target completion right there from our high to this low right here of this consolidation. That pushed down to those lows. Lower time frame, we kind of have just a little descending channel thing going on here. So I took advantage of that as well. Went long right here this morning at 1903, 1.1903. Currently sitting about 17, 18 pips on that. Like I said, tight leash on that. Stop loss is maybe about 50 pips. This is a higher time frame analysis, so I don't really want it to break. This for me is kind of the last little trend line that I can see. Before this one here. So last ditch effort for the bulls. We'll see if they can do anything with this confluence here. Next trade on my list is the USD CHF. I shorted that this morning as well. And so your EU and UCHF kind of are inversely correlated. So when one moves one way, the other one kind of moves the opposite way. Not all the times, but they are kind of inversely correlated, I've seen. So looking to take advantage of that as well. In addition, we have some nice confluence on this as well. High of 2010 as a anchor point on the weekly chart here to our high of 2016, which kind of coincided with a double top there before we finally broke that structure at the beginning of this year. Pushed back up there. You can see that trend line that I had marked. We are testing that today, and some confluence levels. Got a big supply zone there based off this weekly chart, as well as a kind of a channel here that we had forming. You can just see the overextension of this channel began kind of petering out here, forming an additional channel. So this red line was kind of, the channel that I had that it was following. You can see kind of more or less how it was following that. Finally kind of got some candles to close below that, and then pushed back up, retested that, as well as the new channel top that we had formed with some advanced Fibonacci high to high. You can see the last kind of little consolidation area that we had here, pushed down before on to new highs, using that as kind of an anchor and establishment point for the fibs. We get a nice little 50% retracement, push up to the negative 23.6. You can see how well it was respected along with that channel bottom. And then last push up to our profit target completion for that was tagged this morning. I went short at 1.0047 on this account. I did get right around that $5 level, well, 1.005 level on another account with a little bit. So this position here that I'm talking about, this 1.048, is kind of a day trade that I have going right now. So I had about a 30 pip stop on this. So right now we are pushing down to around, I'm sitting at 21 pips on this trade for my entry. So that's going nice. We'll probably take some profit off at this bottom channel if we can push down there. I would like to see this break and maybe retest this negative 23.6 before another push down. If it can do that, we'll just have to play it by ear. Last trade for me, last new trade that I've entered recently is the pound dollar. That's not the chart I had marked up. This one here. You can see same type of situation on the pound. You got this consolidation down here that lasted for an extended period of time before we kind of impulsively broke out of that. I identified that last ditch effort as being right here before it impulsively broke up. Using that as my establishment point, or my anchor point, and then my establishment points. You can see we get two nice touches here. That third touch happened on Friday. Pierced down a little bit lower to some higher time frame profit targets with some fib structure, advanced fib structure. Nice completion of that negative 61.8. I got long at 1.35076. So kind of right down here around this negative 78.6. Like I said, this was entered on Friday, so that's going nicely, sitting about 65 pips on that as of right now. This was also kind of maybe a day trade that I would like to turn into kind of a swing trade. I really don't want to go against the recent bearish trend that is on some of these pairs, but the confluence is there, so we're just going to play it by ear. I had my stop just below kind of this little wick low there, so this was about a let me get back on a lower time frame here so I can. It was about a 50 pip stop or so is what I had on it. My entry 35.07. Yeah, right about a 50 pip stop is what I had on that. So That is over 1-to-1 right now, so I'm likely to move to break even on this. You can see lower time frame structure, we've kind of started to violate some. You know, we had our low, more outside return here, and then higher low onto now a higher high than this high. Still have yet to break above this, you know, essentially 36 level is what I would like to see really taken out. But I am probably going to move this to break even just to kind of take the risk off. If we, you know, dump back down there to this channel bottom, as long as, you know, it doesn't, you know, break it, you know, I shouldn't be taken out on my protective stop because my entry is below this higher low. So it would actually have to, you know, continue this downtrend, violating this higher low than this this low here. Keep in mind this is the 1-hour chart, so that's what I got for right now. I'm still in GJ short from on this account 152.45.6. That's sitting about 420-ish pips. I'm trailing my stop on that. You know, I do expect a retracement in that this week because, you know, we've just kind of overextended ourselves. So just going to manage these trades accordingly, and yeah, it's shaping up to be a nice week so far. Getting some dollar weakness trades in, like I looked at or talked about last week on my Instagram. So if you're not following me there, go over there. I give some insight occasionally, and like, subscribe. I'll be updating these trades accordingly, and but for right now, I'm probably just going to end this video, and then maybe come back and do some individual trade reviews on these trades when they and if they kind of move in my favor some more. Take care.